Start record. Speech off.
Today, guys, we'll be listening to the Percy Jackson audiobook.
Fun. But she locked eyes with me, said something to
The
Paul,
Last Olympian.
and they ran straight toward us. I couldn't call out. The last thing I wanted to do was bring her to Kronos' attention. Fortunately, Hades caused a distraction. He charged at the wall of force, but his chariot crashed against it and overturned. He got to his feet, cursing, and blasted the wall with black energy. The barrier held. "Attack!" he roared. The armies of the dead clashed with the Titan's monsters. Fifth Avenue exploded into absolute chaos. Mortals screamed and ran for cover. Demeter waved her hand, and an entire column of giants turned into a wheat field. Persephone changed the Draceni's spears into sunflowers. Nico slashed and hacked his way through the enemy, trying to protect the pedestrians as best he could. My parents ran toward me, dodging monsters and zombies, but there was nothing I could do to help them.
"Nakamura,
Kronos said.
attend me. Giants, deal with them."
He pointed at my friends and me. Then he ducked into the lobby. For a second, I was stunned. I'd been expecting a fight, but Kronos completely ignored me like I wasn't worth the trouble. That made me mad. The first Hyperborean giant smashed at me with his club. I rolled between his legs and stabbed Riptide into his backside. He shattered into a pile of ice shards. The second giant breathed frost at Annabeth, who was barely able to stand, but Grover pulled her out of the way while Thalia went to work. She sprinted up the giant's back like a gazelle, sliced her hunting knives across his monstrous blue neck, and created the world's largest headless ice sculpture. I glanced outside the magic barrier. Nico was fighting his way toward my mom and Paul, but they weren't waiting for help. Paul grabbed his sword from a fallen hero and did a pretty fine job keeping a Dracena busy. He stabbed her in the gut, and she disintegrated. "Paul?" I said in amazement. He turned toward me and grinned. "I hope that was a monster I just killed. I was a Shakespearean actor in college. Picked up a little swordplay." I liked him even better for that. But then a Lestragonian giant charged toward my mom. She was rummaging around in an abandoned police car, maybe looking for the emergency radio, and her back was turned. "Mom!" I yelled. She whirled when the monster was almost on top of her. I thought the thing in her hands was an umbrella until she cranked the pump and the shotgun blast blew the giant 20 feet backward right into Nico's sword. "Nice one," Paul said. "When did you learn to fire a shotgun?" I demanded. My mom blew the hair out of her face. "About 2 seconds ago. Percy, we'll be fine. Go." "Yes," Nico agreed. "We'll handle the army. You have to get Kronos." "Come on, seaweed brain," Annabeth said. I nodded. Then I looked at the rubble pile on the side of the building. My heart twisted. I'd forgotten about Chiron. How could I do that? "Mrs. O'Leary," I said, "please, Chiron's under there." 19. We trash the Eternal City. The bridge to Olympus was dissolving. We stepped out of the elevator onto the white marble walkway, and immediately cracks appeared at our feet. "Jump!" Grover said, which was easy for him since he's part mountain goat. He sprang to the next slab of stone, while ours tilted sickeningly. "Gods, I hate heights!" Thalia yelled as she and I leaped. But Annabeth was in no shape for jumping. She stumbled and yelled, "Percy!" I caught her hand as the pavement fell, crumbling into dust. For a second, I thought she was going to pull us both over. Her feet dangled in the open air. Her hand started to slip until I was holding her only by her fingers. Then Grover and Thalia grabbed my legs, and I found extra strength. Annabeth was not going to fall. I pulled her up, and we lay trembling on the pavement. I didn't realize we had our arms around each other until she suddenly tensed. Thanks, she muttered. I tried to say, don't mention it.
Please like and subscribe to hear more about this book.